tour tonight for a police boycott of Beyonce's world tour. That comes in the wake of her controversial new music video formation and her Super Bowl performance. So joining me now is retired New York Police Detective Harry Houck, CNN contributor Bakari Sellers, Entertainment Tonight host Michelle Turner, and Kierna Mayo, editor-in-chief of Ebony Magazine. It's good to have all of you here, so let's go. Kierna, you first. Some police groups are calling for a boycott of Beyonce's upcoming tour. The boycott includes asking officers to refuse to work off-duty security details for these events. Are you surprised at how deep this opposition to her performance is running?
I am surprised. At first, I kind of, even on the show, I thought, what the heck? This is so silly. Why are we having this conversation? Because essentially, I feel that Beyonce, like so many African Americans, would absolutely never advocate violence against police. She's having a moment right now where she is connecting her art to a vibration that African Americans are on. We are standing together. Young people are saying that it is not okay for police to be violent. Remember that the advent of the Black Panthers happens only because of the police. That's the irony here. You get the Black Panthers in direct proportion to police violence. It was the Black Panther Party for self-defense.
Okay, so let's hear Harry. Some say her performance is anti-police with this references to the Black Panthers and Black Lives Matter, that movement. Do you feel that way? Because Kierna just addressed that. Do you feel that it was anti-police?
Well, anti-police, it's also racist. Her support of the Black Liberation Army, who, by the way, has assassinated over 15 police officers through the years. The fact that the head of the BLA, former head, Malik Shabazz, called for the killing of whites and their families. So, dressing up her dancers like the BLA definitely tells me that that was a racist statement and shows me support for an organization that has murdered and assassinated police officers for years.
Bakari? Go ahead.
I was just so encouraged that so many Black people watch, and all Americans watch that PBS documentary, because there's a misinformation campaign that has long existed in relationship to the Black Panthers, and it's high time that we talk about the truth and that we really begin to analyze the correct history. There's not one narrative about the Black Panthers. The police don't get to tell what the Black Panthers are. We get to define what they were for us.
Go ahead, Bakari.
I have
to laugh at Harry Houck.
Come on.
I have to laugh at Harry Houck for actually saying that this was racist. Harry's a friend, so I have to laugh at him for actually saying this is racist, because it's not. And I wish Harry and others were as vocal as when we have young African American men who die at the hands of police officers for committing crimes that they should not be sentenced to death for. With that being said, I think that Beyonce, like myself, like Michelle, like Kierna, even like you, Harry, we all agree that police officers go out every day and they serve and protect, and they do so with such honor. However, there is a very, very specific pain that is felt by African Americans that Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar are speaking to right now.
Let's add another layer on top of this.
What are the very few instances that occur? The very few instances that occur where police officers are involved in some kind of misconduct or maybe even murder. Those police officers are sent to court and they're arrested and they are convicted. All right? Why?
No, they're not.
Why are those few instances?
They're not.
Part of the, yes,
they're not, though.
Well, then you tell me.
They're not.
You tell me which cases. You tell me which cases.
Sorry. No, I mean, we can go down the line. We can go down the line.
One at a time, please. One at a time.
That what happened in Ferguson was murder. I'm sorry, it was not. Okay, what happened in Staten Island was murder. I'm sorry, but it was not. Okay, what happened in North Charleston?
We can go back.
Yes, I agree. That was murder.
We can go back to February 8th, 1968, Harry, where you had 8 officers fire shots into a group of students known as the Orangeburg Massacre at South Carolina State. We can actually talk about that, Harry. We can talk about the fact that we have people, whether or not it's Walter Scott,
why don't they talk about the real issue?
We have all of these people that go without finding justice. This whole
why don't you talk about the real issues, though?
What real issues?
Why don't you talk about the real issues?
You want to talk about black
exactly. That's the real issue. There's the chances. There are
for Black life,
of you being killed by another Black.
Harry, here's the thing. I don't think anyone here will say that there is not an issue with people killing each other of all races, but there are two separate. You can walk into a dome at the same time. You can talk about.
It's not an issue.
You can talk. People can talk about people being shot or abused by police officers, and you can also talk about, on the other hand, people who are killing each other on the streets. But I want to get Nichelle in here. Law enforcement feels that Beyonce, Nichelle, is promoting division between law enforcement and African American communities. I talked with the former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani. He's been brought up a lot in here about this a little over a week ago, and here's what he told me.
Maybe it might not be a bad idea for people who have the kind of fame and celebrity that she has to teach everyone, not only in her community, but in every other community, to respect the police, to respect the uniform, not to make it appear as if they're the enemy, but to respect the uniform of our police officers, of our military. That's the way I was brought up. That's a lot safer way to bring up your child, by the way.
Nichelle, this is what you do every day. You speak to artists in the entertainment industry and beyond. So what exactly is the responsibility of an artist like Beyonce in the community? And what are people, at least in the industry, you would know, saying about a responsibility of someone like a Beyonce?
Right. Well, first of all, to Mr. Giuliani, it's the way I was brought up as well, and I'm quite sure that it's the way that Tina Knowles and Matthew Knowles also brought up Beyonce to respect the police, and I'm quite sure that she does. You know, what I think is really interesting here is, when did the conversation go from, you know, Beyonce making a statement in her art to she hates the police? I mean, I really don't even see the correlation there, and I think that it's very interesting when these people who, the majority of them, and I'm speaking about the police. Well, Harry, can you let me finish, please? I mean, I didn't interrupt you. I sat and listened to everything that you were saying. I'd appreciate the same to me. But what I was saying was that I think it's very interesting that these people that I consider everyday heroes, the majority of them, and I'm speaking about the police, now are saying, because we're mad at you, we are not going to, or we potentially don't want to do for you what we signed up to do, and that's serve and protect. I don't know, this is America, and we're allowed to have a voice, we're allowed to have freedom of speech, and if you don't want to serve and protect someone that you may not agree with, I'm not sure why you sign up to be a police officer. Okay. That's just my view on that.
Don, we have to clear this up. Don, we have to clear up, the one issue here is not the fact that police officers don't want to protect her. These are, we're talking about side jobs. These are side jobs that the police officers get paid extra. They get paid extra to go out, and this is volunteer work, to wear the uniform and protect somebody like Beyonce, protect the venue. This is not working while you're a member of the police department. You're just wearing the uniform. This is a side job. These are the jobs that the police officers are talking about that they want to boycott.
But they're also protecting the people who go to the show as regular citizens as well.
This is a side job. They do not have to do this. All right? But if police officers are assigned through the police department to go and work at a concert, those officers have to do that.
Okay, as I was saying earlier, an added layer on top of this, one group, one very controversial voice, is saying, police don't want to protect Beyonce, I'm going to do it. Minister Louis Farrakhan, you'll hear from him next.
Why did we vacation?